We're going to move into our level 9s and 10s. We're just going to kind of mix them in a little bit. Rochelle, Emma, Anna, Anya, Lindsay, Reina, Rose, and Gwen. From gymnastics in school to family and life, these girls have some pretty good heads on their shoulders. Another season has passed, leaving behind even more evidence of that which makes these ladies so exceptional. Not just as gymnasts, but also as friends and students, daughters, and a much longer list than I have room for. When I do step back for a minute, it hits me kind of oddly at different times, or once here and there, and I step back and think about all it is that these ladies do to make their sport a reality for them, to make their studies important, to make their friends and their outside interests also important. I have a great deal of respect, just so you guys know that. I do actually think about those things and appreciate all that it takes to be where you are here. They have respect for each other, which is huge, and also for our direction. This is truly the best gift any gymnast could give her coach. Just like learning new skills and making strides in skill work that is motivating for the athletes, coaches are also very motivated and inspired by athletes who work to make the changes we ask of them, and do so much to contribute to a largely positive dynamic in the gym. This is not easy, and we do appreciate it, that it is a choice that they make willingly, or at least mostly so. So we are going to start with Emma Hagan. I was commenting to all the girls, it's like a earthy, like not bright pink year. I like it though, it's good. Emma qualified to both state and regionals in her third year, level 9, and she also earned first alternate spot for Westerns. Now, for anyone who has or might miss qualifying to a big anything, meet, or whatever by a tiny margin, I definitely feel for you. That's really hard. What's harder? To do the same thing 2 years in a row. So this happened to our Emma, and it was really hard, not just for her, but for all of us who have seen her work through and overcome various challenges this season. I wish I had a magical I told her I wouldn't even look at you, but I'm not doing very well on this end here, so. I wish I had a magical explanation for why this had to happen and how you will learn and grow from this, but I don't. All I know for sure is that you tried very hard to do your absolute best. You left nothing on the mat. You should only be proud of yourself for the effort you pulled out of yourself and for having the very best meet of the season. This season, you vaulted amazingly, earning a 9.4. You made a double back in your floor routine. You showed off your super fun floor routine and vaulted more powerfully. You competed many level 10 elements. You gained so much experience and learned what it really means to persevere. And not the persevere, like just show up and keep doing stuff, but the persevere to continue to put in effort even when no reward is obvious. It is to continue to make corrections even when they don't seem to be working. It is smiling through tears because you are doing all that you can to do better, and sometimes it just isn't enough. I can't tell you how or when this experience will help you down the road, but I do know you can handle a lot more than the average 14-year-old out there. You have made hard work part of who you are, and you have chosen to push and fight when it would have been much easier not to. This is worth more than the double backs and the giant swings. Proud of you.
Anya. Anya is a first-year level 10 this season. qualified to state and regionals and was able to accomplish quite a lot. She competed at double back off bars for the first time ever, and by the end of that season, it would have been hard to believe that it was a newer skill. Anya also competed and made her first double back on the floor at the Elevate the Stage meet in Alabama. Pretty big smile after that. A few unfortunate foot injuries caused a delay in her getting her new vault ready, to the point where we were wondering if it was actually going to happen this season. We had to make a plan to kind of wait to compete until it was beyond ready, more than ready. And not sure exactly where that was going to go, but at regionals, she was very ready. She hit the best vault and then followed it up with another one. This vault is called a Kazumatsu. It's a less common but very impressive vault. It's a little underrated in my opinion by the judges. And we were really happy that she shared it with us at that meet. She scored a surprising 8.975. Surprisingly not a 9 that it should have been, but it was an amazing vault that placed 6th at that meet at level 10. She did make it into the 9.0 club on vault at our practice meet, and also on beam at state with the 9.025, where she placed 5th. Great accomplishments for a first season in level 10. She also hit the best flight of the season on beam at regionals, executed her best technically performed double off the bars, and felt really good about her toe up and release. This was by far her best first year in a level, at level 10. Comfort and confidence levels are up, goals are being imagined, and she is ready to put the work in to achieve them. Anya has become a solid influence on the group with respect to maintaining high levels of function, effort, and respect from within the group. She is a teammate who will put everyone else first and take care of anyone who needs help or support. Anya also shared her 16th birthday with us earlier this season. She'll be a senior next season, and we couldn't be more proud of her and all the work, everything that she's worked through to get to this point.
Rochelle? Not Rochelle, which I started randomly calling her when she did good stuff. I don't know why, but Rochelle. Rochelle is a first-year level 9 gymnast, and this was a really big deal. This is something that she'd been working toward for a long time. She qualified to state early on, but after a tough fall off bars at her first official meet, she had to battle back so that she could eventually compete all 4 minutes again. And she did this and earned 6th place on bars and 10th on beam, vault, and floor at state. Coming off of a previous season where she was sidelined entirely and had to spend months and months just to get back her strength and gain more strength following some growing and some other things that were completely out of her control. She was in a spot to do a good job this season. She was ready, she had worked hard, and she was just so determined to hit that bar routine at that first meet. And things happened. We had a tough fall, and I know she was hurting, but I think she was even more mad than hurting even in that moment, which means she was really mad. It was hard. It was hard for us. It was hard for Bob. And when she didn't want to finish the meet, we knew that it was not something she could just brush off. So we moved forward little by little. She got this back. She got that back. She got stronger. She got her flight. She started doing her release again. Double back came, and finally she was doing her double back. And while it wasn't, the ideal season that you probably had envisioned, it was full of lots of challenges and lots of you pushing yourself and you could have just been done. And you made sure you got things done that you needed to do. Rochelle has a very strong character, is evident in pretty much everything that I've ever seen her do. I know her teammates have the highest levels of respect and admiration for her, as they know how tough the last two seasons have been for her. Even so, she maintains amazing composure. She continues to train with purpose and supports her teammates always. Awesome accomplishments for her this season include getting her 2x handspring series back. She's also working handspring layouts before she was injured. She learned her overshoot release, which is the one that causes so much difficulty moving from 8 to 9. And the first time she competed it was done so well. It just felt so good. I can imagine what you felt, but it felt really good over here too. She was able to get her 4 events back, and she learned a 1.5 on floor. She did a great Yurchenko vault at her practice meet, and just know you've accomplished so much and have added so much to your team in ways that go way beyond the skills and placements. They and we appreciate you so much.
Micro, come on up. One of those nicknames that is definitely no longer fitting, but I just can't let go. Anna competed her first season of Level 10. She earned a high all-around of a 35.075 and scored 9s on vault, beam, and floor, which is a solid accomplishment. Anna qualified to both state and regionals. She had a season of challenges. She also had a season of learning to trust the process, or at least try to when it possibly didn't make perfect sense at the time. The season required more learning, more leaning on her teammates, and also giving herself a break when things didn't seem to be lining up as well as she would have liked. It was full of tiny successes and victories. The challenges that have come with this first season of Level 10 have no doubt set Anna up to be ready for meeting her future challenges head on, ready to tackle things with more tools than she might have had in her tool belt before. We are continually amazed by Anna's intensity, unwillingness to quit on anything, and her solid support of her gym sisters. Anna is soon to be one of the driving members of our PMG family and has worked through many obstacles, keeping herself focused on the goals that are most important to her. Her resolve to do her best resulted in a 5th place state and a 6th place regional finish on vault. And this year, Anna rounded out our 3rd Sweet 16 birthday celebration, which we celebrated a bit early at the Waffle House in Birmingham.
Emma also competed in her first year in Level 10 along with Anna and Anya. She was able to catch one amazing Takachev in preseason, which was truly amazing. And we still owe you a party. We have not forgotten. She has been back in the belt recently, and hopefully we'll be planning on catching another one really soon. Looks like it's coming. But that's one of those skills that, I don't know, kind of like a kip. You make one, and then sometimes it's months. Reina, do you remember? You did one, like December, and then, So, you're in good company there. You will get it, and it will be amazing. The next one, and the next one, and then by like the 10th one, it'll be not a big deal. Emma earned 9.0 club honors for both vault and beam in her first season at 10. She got a 9.125 on vault and a 9.075 on beam. She's a state qualifier in her first season, and she had a high all-around of a 33.6. She worked hard this season, no different than always. But she pushed herself to make improvements here and there with her bar dismount or her toe up, or her casting, or flight on beam, tumbling on the floor, and even onto next season's skills. She never backed off when things got hard, or when the work to reward balance seemed off. She just worked, and it became an obvious example to her group of what working can really look like. Because it's not always really glamorous. You don't always get something for it right away. Sometimes you catch a major release after all that work, or sometimes you just get better at casting. And we have to just take what we can get when we put all that effort in and know that it'll all come out in the wash. Recently, Emma has made some strong changes in her ability to flip and land her bar dismount, which I don't know if it was that exciting for you, but it was really fun for me to see. She smiles about as much as her hair likes to curl. And, and we love that she is such a special member of this team. We also look forward to for her to find her senior niche, along with Anya and Lindsay as they enter and make this final season everything it needs to be for them and their team.
Lindsay. Lindsay came to us late last spring, already having competed level 10 previously. Must have been difficult. Lindsay has joined in and filled a spot we never realized needed filling until now. She's brought in a fierce level of competitiveness and a work ethic to match. Steph and I still have a hard time believing that she has been here for less than a year. The girls were so excited the first day you came in. All they could talk about was, is she gonna join? Is she gonna come? She's so great. And lots of other excited statements about that, and just being thrilled for the potential of having another friend come in the gym. It was a very happy day for them when you walked through the door. Lindsay had the tough job of getting to know 2 new coaches, plus Natasha. Oh my. Along with getting to know 17 new teammates all at once. She handled it all like a champ. She has helped to set the tone as far as workout pace and efficient use of gym time goes. Like, let's see if I can do 20 double backs in 1 floor rotation. I think she runs back to the corner about as fast as she runs into the tumbling pass, so she can go again. But she likes to work hard. She likes to get everything 100% prepared. It's really great. Maybe if the shins are hurting a little too much, you could do that a little bit overboard. But overall, great work ethic. She had her best meet this season at state, where she earned personal best on vault with a 9.475. That's a pretty decent score, especially considering that 9.475 is out of a 9.7. And she earned a high all-around of 35.95. She caught her major release, hit floor and beam, hit full bar sets. It was a great day, but her shin didn't entirely agree. She's resting a bit longer, and then will be hitting hard on new skills as we slide into late spring and summer. Great first season with us, Lindsay.
Gwen? I don't have a trophy for you. No. No, your plant is in my garage still. But no, Gwen, you get to do this too. She's in this kind of fun in-between place. She is not where we are, and she's not entirely where they are, and it has been such a blessing for this team. So she stepped in, or onto the gym floor in a new capacity this season. We are also fortunate to still be, to have her still be such an incredibly important and binding piece of our PMG family. When we sat down to talk about what this change might look like, it was a fun brainstorm without a lot of certainty about where it would end up or what this role might look like or feel like to her or the team. I'm overwhelmed with how well she has embraced her leadership role, one that came with challenges, being something between a peer and a leader. Gwen took the reins and made them go where they needed to go. Having Gwen certified as a junior pro member so that she could help on the floor in any competition to help also exceeded any expectations that I might have had. You know, it's nice to get help with some maths and stuff, right? As the meets went on and there were a few she couldn't attend, and we realized we really needed Gwen. It was so helpful to have her, not just moving mats, but helping to prepare an athlete or talk to an athlete when they were done and we were trying to prepare the next one. It was an amazing thing to have her out on the floor. So thankful for that. Gwen was able to travel with us to Alabama, and while I am thinking it could be coincidental, it's possible, but it honestly might have been her very best overall travel meet experience. And I have to believe she had something to do with that. I think, honestly, I think our biggest concern would have been how Garrett and I would have explained the jammed couch in our doorway. You see, the hotel in Birmingham wasn't so great, and one of the rooms had one bed and 4 kids and no rollaways and no nothing. So we thought, how hard could it be to push a couch out of one room and move it down the hall to the next? Well, didn't go well. Got stuck. We're on the inside, they're on the outside, the couch is just stuck. I don't think I've laughed so hard in a very long time. So we finally managed to pull it back in, and we moved just the mattress and all the cushions they could find from every room on the floor, and that room was the party room after that, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, that's just about, no, you're not done yet. But we are just so happy that you are still part of, a huge part of this routine, or this team. But Gwen proved to be just what this team needed this season, and she will round out next season with us as one of our 4 seniors. Even now, I'm getting a little emotional over that thought, but for now, we are just so happy that you continue to mold, push, encourage, remind, and help us all to set goals, and follow through with them, and follow through with all of the little and not so little but important things you chose to bring to our table this season. Gwen continues to balance her love of running with her love of gymnastics and her gym sisters. Her PR in the mile is 5:25. We did a 5K this summer, and I thought, I can probably hang with them for a little bit, right? Like, they just gone. It's like, have fun. I think, did you guys win? Did you win?
I think we all.
Yeah, they all won. Yeah, they won like a gift card to a bakery way out in Eden Prairie somewhere. But it was fun. She can bench press 225? That's a lot. Sorry, so sorry, Gwen. Russian deadlift 280, seriously? And then there's just some story about a box of fruit snacks, but I have to look into that a little bit more. But seriously, Gwen, you are amazing. You committed to our team so wonderfully, and we can't thank you enough.
All right. Fun times. It's senior time. So, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go down, but next year we're going to have twice this many. So, wish us luck. Reina and Rose, both, come on up. I'll try to keep this as light as possible before Steph does her half. Reina, Rose, Reina. For the last 6 years, you could hardly hear one name without the other. Many people, coaches that we see in the meets, have a hard time keeping the two of them straight throughout the years. A lot of them even thought they were sisters. They moved up, it's true. They moved up in their level, side by side, gently challenging and pushing each other to make the next level step or attain the next big goal. They became teammates back in 2013 when they competed level 7, where between the two of them, they scored 37s and 38s, 9-7 plus on floor and bars, 9-5 or better on every event. It was also the year we went to St. Cloud for the travel meet, and the girls made up songs on the drive, and also where Gwen and Anya got into trouble with ping pong paddles and learned about putting things away from strangers who are in level 8, they both learned new Yurchenko vaults, more all-arounds, getting into the 37s and 38s. Rose earned a 9.675 on floor that season, and Reina made the Super 8 team where Minnesota ended up winning the title. Level 9 brought more new skills, including bigger vaults, bar flights, challenging beam flight series, qualifying to Western Championships. All of these, they took on together. On to level 10, again, they moved together. This is not typically the case. Luckily for these two, it just worked out that way. Double backs on floor, even bigger vaults, overshoots to handstand, major releases, bigger flipping beam flights, JO national competitions. When you go through all of this together, the bond that is formed is difficult to describe. In fact, they're probably the only ones who could. I'm so happy you were able to enjoy the ride together. It was a really great ride. It was fast at times and really bumpy at times. Oh, Rose started off, at least with me, at a young level 7. We've had 6+ years, and Reina, I remember your first day in the gym when you came in and we did some sort of little evaluation, and Steph and I were talking. I'm like, yeah, we should probably give her a shot at the free team. You know? Why not? What could it hurt? No, maybe it's a bit of exaggeration, but that had to have been 12 years ago, and then working with Steph and I for the last decade straight. We've had a lot of fun. That's what I do. That's what I try to do. So hopefully at the end of this big ride, when we look back, we can remember tons and tons of fun times. Lots of really, really funny jokes that I get to tell everybody. And stories. There's 2. You're not alone, lady. Lots of fun, lots of games, lots of smiles and laughs, day in, day out. We had our share of the other stuff too. But mostly, we had a blast. I learned a lot. They showed me a lot. They showed me a lot of highly entertaining things. They showed me a lot of interesting things about themselves. Like, Rose is really tough. It's just tough. When she falls off the bars and she's not happy and she knows she's gonna take a hit, right before she lands, she kicks the mat out from under her and just takes the hit on the hard ground. Again and again. Reina, you tend to save yourself pretty well from the big hits. You know, like, if you do a really weird dismount, you tend to pull it through, or if you go a little bit too close to the bar, you know, you can swing it by and just kind of land on your face, and then when you don't get back up, I wonder, what's wrong? It wasn't that bad of a hit. So really, she didn't really take a hit. She just clipped her toenail on the bar a little bit. But that was the most shocking thing I've ever seen. I've had to deal with, sadly, some pretty big falls over the last, nearly 30 years of my coaching career, but it was really hard to hold a straight face on that one. On a more serious note, with this much time, a decade or more, going through everything that we've gone through, it's not all been really easy. In hindsight, it's been fun, but there were times, months, sometimes seasons of really hard work and hard times and wondering maybe what's going wrong. And we worked through that, and they learned a ton. You don't have goals that you can reach in a month or even in a year. Some of these were 2- and 3-year processes they're still working on, and they realize that it's not just a done with it sort of a situation. It's something you have to keep working on, and it will never end. You just keep at it. And the lessons they've learned were shared with me and Steph. I grew a lot in the process, and no doubt that everything I learned, you guys are going to get to benefit from, especially you young ones who are coming up through the same things, dealing with a lot of the same issues that they've had to work through. So overall, I could not be more pleased with these two and all the times we've had together, and I've had a blast. Great job, you two.
All right, I'm gonna try to bounce back and forth a little bit here. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna do my best. So Rose, I still remember your very first floor routine, the Pirates, and she danced very well back then too. I remember seeing her smile all day, every day. Rose has a love for gymnastics and life, which is obvious to everyone. She loves to travel and sing. She's welcomed a dog into the family, which was a new thing. They had only had frogs up until very recently. 16 years. 16. They were 16 years old. They've had the frogs longer than they've had Lara. Kind of think about the PT, they saved those frogs from the lab. And they're part of their family. But she really has worked to excel in everything she does. It's apparent. For Rose, I'm pretty sure she would prefer to do something right or just not do it. At least for most things. She's been a supportive and strong teammate from the beginning. She has improved every season and has many things to be proud of. The thing that probably stands out the most to me, and there are lots of things, but will be that bar routine last year at regionals, where she hit her routine, she stuck. I don't remember, did you salute? I think you did.
Maybe.
But you did, you saluted. But it was kind of like time was going at a weird pace, and she had just done this great thing, and she hadn't thought beyond the fact that she just hit a bar team, and it was amazing. And then after that, we got to realize that hit also got her a spot on the JO national team, which she also wasn't thinking about. And when she realized she was in 3rd place, that meant I'm going to nationals. So that was a big, a special moment for me. One that if somebody asked me, oh, have you seen Rose in a while, or what's she up to? I will think back to the look on her face there, as well as the same look I saw when she hit her flight for the first time, or the bar routine at nationals that was even better than that one. So last year she finished out on a high note, made it to nationals, everything was going great, and training coming into the season was also going great. She had an unfortunate ankle roll in November, and these things happen. You do your PT, you rest, and you work toward getting your stuff back. Well, things were moving, but there was something kind of keeping it slow, and she kept moving, but something didn't quite seem right, and so at some point in the season, when some swelling kind of popped in that didn't seem to make a lot of sense, we thought, okay, let's get this thing figured out. Hopefully it's just a rose swelly thing, and So we got our MRI, we went to Alabama, we competed, did a great bar routine, felt really great being up on that podium. Got back, hadn't heard anything, thinking we'll get our appointment and, get back to work, and ended up finding out that little ankle roll was a little more significant than it had appeared to be. So what seemed like a basic ankle sprain back in November, it ended up being quite a bit more complicated. And when Rose does something, and Laura too for that matter, they do it good. And by good, we mean bad. Pretty bad. So hearing that she was going to need to have surgery, and she could do the rest of the season, or she could do it now. She had a choice to make, and very quickly, she's practical. She thinks, what's going to make the most sense for me? And she knew that having it